Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today we are going to present about one of the food preservative that is commonly used in food industry, which is Nisin. Next. So these are our group members. Next. Okay. So first we must know what is Nisin. Nisin, or also known as an antibiotic, is a small molecule polypeptide antibiotic with antibacterial activity. It is synthesized by Lactococcus lactis during metabolism, and E234 is its food additive number. Nisin is used as preservative mostly in cheese production to inhibit growth of gram-positive bacteria and also other bacteria, hence help prolonging shelf life. Actually, there is no need to worry about the consumption because generally, Nisin is safe, natural, halal and gluten-free. Next. Okay, as you can see now, cheddar cheese is one of the example of product that use Nisin as preservative. Now I will pass to Jannah.
Okay, now I want to explain about the targeted microorganism. So, Nisin mainly inhibit gram-positive bacteria and not the gram-negative bacteria due to the impermeability of Nisin to gram-negative bacteria cell wall. Okay, firstly, in natural cheese, the first application of Nisin was to prevent blowing defect in some hard and semi-hard cheese. Blowing defect of cheese refers to the undesirable openness of the cheese interior that resulting in the appearance of texture and flavor defect. This defect is characterized by the formation of air space, such like ice, slits, and crack caused by the production of bubble gas from anaerobic spore-forming bacteria, Clostridium butyricum and Clostridium tyrobutyricum. Therefore, Nisin is used to inhibit the growth of this bacteria and thus preventing the blowing defect. Okay, other than that, cheese can also be contaminated with food poisoning pathogens such as Listeria monocytogenes and Staphylococcus aureus. So because cheese has high nutritional content that is suitable for development of this bacteria. So cheese have been made with sufficient Nisin content to provide protection against the growth of this pathogenic bacteria. Okay, secondly, in processed cheese, the typical heat processing of raw cheese is not enough to eliminate spores that are often present in the ingredients during the cheese making. Temperature-resistant spore-forming bacteria like Clostridium species can still survive. For example, Clostridium butyricum and Clostridium tyrobutyricum that produce gas of odor and liquefaction of cheese. And other than that, Nisin will also target the Clostridium botulinum that can produce potentially fatal toxin. So, as mentioned earlier, Nisin has antimicrobial activity against gram-positive bacteria, but not against gram-negative bacteria because of their outer membrane barriers. However, it is exceptional under certain conditions. Many research work has shown that Nisin can inhibit gram-negative bacteria when it is used in combination with substances or physical treatment that destabilize the outer membrane of the gram-negative bacteria. Okay, I will pass to Balkis.
So, the mechanism of antimicrobial action of Nisin. Like what Jannah has mentioned before, Nisin mainly will inhibit the growth of gram-positive bacteria. Therefore, in cheese product, if there is a presence of Nisin, this Nisin molecule will firstly pass through the cell wall of the bacteria and bind to lipid 2 and forming Nisin lipid 2 complex. Since lipid 2 is an essential element in the formation of peptidoglycan in bacteria, this action of Nisin will prevent the incorporation of peptidoglycan monomer into forming the growing peptidoglycan network surrounding bacteria cell. Next slide. So after that, Surely several Nisin lipid 2 complexes will be formed, and they will insert themselves from cell wall into the cell membrane of the bacteria and assemble together, forming a stable pore with a diameter of 2 nanometer. Once the pore is formed, it will allow the efflux of intracellular components within the bacteria cell, where small components like amino acid, nucleotides, ions will leak out of the cell, and this will cause damage to the cell. Consequently, this damaged cell will not be able to produce energy to support their growth in cysts. Therefore, this will lead to cell death. This is how Nisin act as a natural biopreservative in cysts in order to prevent the growth of gram-positive bacteria. So now I'm going to pass the presentation to Isma.
Okay, now I will explain about the factors that can affect the antimicrobial activity of lysine. The first factor is about the solubility. Lysine is soluble in water but not in non-polar solvent. So this factor can contribute to antimicrobial activity because antimicrobial activity of lysine is largely dependent on aqueous solubility of lysine itself. The second factor is about the pH. Nisin is soluble and highly stable in acidic solutions. So, the antimicrobial activity will be stronger at low pH and can gradually decrease if the pH value is approached to neutral and alkaline. The third factor is regarding the temperature. The antimicrobial activity of nisin almost retained after pasteurization. So this shows that the nisin is resistant to wet heat. Furthermore, the antimicrobial activity of nisin also doesn't affect at low temperature, which is during the storage. Other than that, NaCl that has been used in cheese also can affect the antimicrobial activity of nisin. This is because the presence of NaCl in cheese can contribute to the increase of the antimicrobial activity of nisin. For your information, this NaCl was used in cheese as a preservative and also can contribute directly to flavors and quality of cheese. Then, fat content also have been identified as a factors that can affect the antimicrobial activity of lysine. This is because if the fat content in milk that have been used to produce cheese is higher, then the antimicrobial activity of lysine will be decreased. Lastly, the enzyme present in cheese also can be considered as factors that can influence the antimicrobial activity of lysine. This is because lysine can be inactivated by alpha-chymotrypsin enzyme, but not to other enzymes such as pepsin, trypsin, and carboxyl peptidase. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.